Hello and welcome to Editing with My Wife, now with more little bits of chocolate. My name's the Hooded Philosopher and I'm here with Cheesy Loops. Cheesy Loops, what's this episode about?
This episode is about Storyception. A story within a story.
Get ready for a very long chapter.
Don't mind me if I fall asleep in the middle of
This
it.
might be a 10,000 word chapter on its own.
Oh, shush, it's not.
It's called A Book Too Far, because this whole chapter is a book on its own. See this? I'm still scrolling. And it's like the whole screen, guys. What was I doing?
You were going to the recap.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was supposed to be doing that.
I'm learning how to sculpt a palm tree. I've never done it before, and I'm not...
Tell us about your project.
I'm making a present for somebody who doesn't know it's being made for them yet.
Probably isn't listening to this.
Probably not.
No, it definitely isn't listening to this.
But I'm making a little Eevee on a beach. And I'm sculpting my first ever palm tree.
On the beach.
And I'm barely using a reference. Like, I'm using a reference to try to make sure of, like, what a palm tree looks like and the basic ideas. And then I'm just kind of winging it like I normally do.
Well, the last chapter, while the boy was sleeping, yes, they had a conference where they decided they'll go rip down the school. And then when Nathaniel's going to bed, Ella gives him a sword from Alexander the Great, and then he goes to bed, sleeps not very well, wakes up, and then finds Nail outside of his room, and she just kind of takes on the seat of chaos and disappears. So Nathaniel's freed from it, and he has to go now rip down the school and fight to get this over with. And he goes up with Draylin, and Marcus joins in, and that was it. Because we'll go back to that after we see what happened with Tresca, the boy.
Because they're going to a different part of the school.
They're going to the other side of the city. This big, massive thing. It's just a giant school. It's big hallways with doors coming off of them.
Mm-hmm. So, chapter 34, A Book Too Far. Yes. Let's get it. Can't read it if I can't see it.
Yeah, I can't think it if I can't read it.
Alright, palm tree down. Tresca, Ella, and the boy were walking with Thram, the trusted. Thank you, Tresca of Love. You've given us another chance at a world without divine. We just ask that you would allow this small retinue of men to accompany you. The boy and Ella were talking to each other. He was attempting to teach Ella some hand motions and what they mean. She was enjoying the company of someone her age, interested in her. Their giggles interrupted Tresca, and she shot them a look while saying, "We would welcome a few men, but keep it small, please. And make sure they aren't too friendly. I've already got enough with these two giggling all the time." Thram called for Norn and Toldari. Two men walked into the small building. Norn greeted Tresca by appealing to her status as an elder. Toldari, on the other hand, spoke of his genuine love of helping people and keeping them safe. Either way, Tresca was flattered. "I have heard many stories about your travels. All those Lystran soldiers saved from Grollick's forsaken arena," Toldari said, inspecting his bow, then slinging it over his shoulder. Tresca smiled graciously. It really was a team effort. I just hope we never meet an awful man like that ever again," she said nonchalantly, waving away the compliment. "Isolde? Who's Isolde?"
That is Ella. That is a name I missed. That's what she was called. Long time ago.
Oh, I see.
Before I had their names.
Ella looked Tresca. Ella looked at Tresca. "May he never harm another soul," she said triumphantly. Her hands palms together, pointed away from the body. Her palms together would just make it clear. by the way. Just get rid of hands. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't know what's going on. My head isn't working. I didn't realize the hands was even there.
Yeah, her palms together.
Probably I used both words and then didn't figure out which one I wanted.
Her palms together pointed away from the body, head looking to the sky. A smile on her face was not a part of the ritual. May the power he unlocked be used with only good intentions, so Tresca mirrored her emotions out of respect. After that, the two hugged. The boy was looking at Norin's gauntleted right hand. It was only a series of runes, but he seemed to understand something else about it, and he was curious. In his hand language, he asked Ella, "What is that?" She asked him, "What do you know about nature's vision?" "I know that people can change the way your senses perceive objects." He started, his hands grasping each word carefully and slowly, being sure they were conveyed. "That is a special device that gives you an aerial view of the place you're in, but only the user can see it. Unless he has the one that can switch to a small hallucinogenic view." Her mouth stumbled over the words as she tried to say it with her hands. The boy let out an audible laugh, drawing the attention of the three just ahead. His face was beet red, but they returned to their conversation. Ella was confused. Her hands matched her words. "What did I say?" "You said hallucinogenic," he mimicked her hand motions. "But your hand said..." He gave her a hand motion, but she didn't understand. He made two hand motions that were clear. No clothes. Now she laughed. She was quieter. Tresca and her new protectors remained in her conversation. "Is that where your mind is?" she said. She said this slowly, her hand saying it very carefully. The wink made the boy smile in relief. "Not always, I promise," was the response that made her giggle. The main tunnel had come to a close for the first checkpoint. "Let's stop here and have a meal. All this walking needs fuel." When they got to the checkpoint, greeted by an empty room. There was a table in the center and a door on the other side.
No, it's just missing "they were."
Okay.
Right there. That's good mouse. Mouse is looking real good. They were greeted.
Okay. There was a table in the center and a door on the other side. They all sat around the table. Tresca retrieved some of her powder of creation.
Yeah, there's some old stuff in here I just skipped over
and made a large cooked turkey with mashed potatoes and steamed carrots and broccoli. And I'm hungry now. They sat quietly at first, easing
and taking them.
Oh, okay. They sat quietly at first, easing and taking a moment off their feet. Or eating.
It could mean eating, yeah. I'm eating and taking, yeah, because they're going to have the food that she just made. That's kind of...
After some time, Tildori spoke up. Anyone else around here a fiery soul?" "I wish I could tell you that I am, but I'm actually a deep soul," Tresca said. "I'm a windy soul," Ella said. The boy moved his hand, and Tresca interpreted. "He's sure that he is." "How do you not know? I jumped on it the moment my voice dropped." Toldari said only then sheepishly realized what he was saying. Norin gently smacked the back of Toldari's head. "I deserve that. When are you going to try it?" The boy's hand moved slowly, but only a few words were translated. "I have, but I'm not any good at it. Best to limit it so no one gets hurt." Toldari slapped the boy on the shoulder. "Those are prudent measures. When you get to unlock your potential, find other fiery souls and help us light the world afire with stories you won't. Won't you?" Oh, I'm reading this horribly. Can you hand me the drink? Thank you. Put a comma in the yeah. That'll help me. When you get to unlock your potential, find other fiery souls and help us light the world afire with stories, won't you? Norin spoke up. Listening to this man tell a story is quite a treat, and that's coming from a muddy soul. Triska smiled at Toldari. Do you know one from the world before where the sun and the void danced together across the horizon? I in fact know a few before the gods stopped creation and built it anew in the wreckage. Do you know of Mordanus and Castrin? Everyone was listening intently. Oh, you're changing the whole line. Okay. We scroll. Everyone was listening intently. Triska smiled, saying, Please continue. We would love to hear about those two. Mordanus was a blacksmith. A long time ago, he loved to craft blades, and one day he crafted a sword that could kill a god. When Castrin saw him, he condemned it to be destroyed. Mordanus was proud of his work, though, saying, I will craft it finer then. For 2,000 years he hammered at the blade. As he did, his sweat dripped into the blade. The sweat of a god was a powerful thing. Apparently, when you forge with it, it forges the blade into a fine enough blade to slice into another world.
There's so many blades.
Okay.
It's cutting up my head.
We'll fix that in a bit. When he forged it, he opened the door to the infernal race known as the Ashsplat. Their skin of steel made them impervious to all the weapons the ancient nation had to defend themselves. Castrin screamed at his brother. What have you done? You have brought all the evil into our world with that blade.
Wood. Wow.
Space. He shouted for the blade to be destroyed. Mordanus was sure that the blade could fix this. He forged it. He forged it, his blood coming out of his hands as he worked. And as you know, if you forge with the blood of the gods, you must be obtaining a new power. For the first time, the gods made a weapon that could cut mortal flesh. The skin of their foes peeled easily at this, but the fine blade brought into our world something that could cut mortal flesh. Wow.
It doesn't make any sense to you?
Yeah, we'll discuss it later.
It's saying that the Ashsplat are mortal.
Mm.
They didn't have anything that could kill a mortal thing.
Mortals are not... They're easily...
Most notably, killable, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. That's why it's confusing, yes.
Okay. When a man saw that, he copied it, slicing it into the side of their own brother. It is said that Mordanus is still forging, hoping that it can fix the problem, and Castrin stands at the gate to the Ashsplat home, keeping them at bay. Everyone was enraptured. The boy in particular. He was making motions back and forth with Triska as Toldari spoke. She gently answered the boy's questions quietly with her hands, barely even making a rustle. That is interesting and all, but we should get a move on now. Although Anthos is not one to be trifled with. He is known as Anthos the Underhanded, after all. Besides, we have a way to go before we even get to the next checkpoint. Everyone began gathering their things, and they walked out the door on the other side of the room. Behind the door there was a large section of the ceiling in front of them, and a hole into some dormitories to their right. It was well lit, and, besides the wall bits, rather clean. Well, in we go, Toldari said, pointing to the hole. Holy cow, there's more! They all cautiously and carefully walked through the hole and into the dorm. I'm going to scroll this up just right there. I don't know. Get it out of there. Thank you. As they looked around, the boy saw a book sitting on one of the beds. It had all sorts of runes on it. The black leather stood stark against the shining metals. Of the runes, there were a few he recognized. There was one that allowed the ink to flow, and one that looked like the rune he saw on the artifacts, only different. A lot more detailed was filigreed around it. He opened the book. Blank pages filled the book. Not a single word to be seen. He handed the book to Ella, who took it with a curious look on her face. "What is this?" she asked, taking and opening it. The words, "How can I help you?" appeared on the page. "Did you write this? It doesn't look like your handwriting." His confused look told her he did not write it. "Well, then who wrote it?" "Lacastron."
What?
Lancastron.
Sound it out slowly.
My eyes are so swollen. Lancastron.
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 Okay.
Lacastron.
Lancastron. It's just a fantasy name.
I just subtracted an N. Give me a break.
Lancastron. Yes, you did. That's all you really did.
Yeah. Appeared across the page. Her mouth formed the name. The sounds followed. Tildari, who was laying on a bunk, scraping his name into the bunk above him, followed by the words, "was here," shot up, hitting his head on the bunk. As he said, "I was hoping to go my whole life without our ever having to even hear that name. And hear you say it because why?" Ella looked up from the book. "It is apparently another of Frelick's torture victims." Words appeared on the page in front of her, and she read, "Torture victim, yes, but I was not Frelick's prize. Many awful people ruled the school. None so cruel as a man called Darkrai the Morbid. He had me on a strict regimen of pills. I took them daily, and my powers began to change and fluctuate until I was not even alive anymore. But I hadn't died. Frelick bound me to the border between life and death, and then removed me from my body. I can only hear and place ink where I need on the page to give the higher-ups the info they want." She looked back up at Tildari, who looked like he saw a ghost. "Ask it why the legend is that anyone who touches the book ends up being tortured to insanity by 4 Ashblatt slave keepers," Tildari asked. Every face fell in horror save for Norn, who said, rather nonchalantly, "They say the way the books drive you mad is to carefully and in a way keep you..." Oh, sorry guys, this is my problems. "They say the way the book drives..."
It might not be good writing either, quite frankly.
"The way the book drives you mad is to carefully and in a way keep your attention..." In a way
you... I don't know why the U is there.
"In a way to keep your attention." Yeah, get rid of the U. "Describe to you every possible way you can die. Campfire stories meant to scare children." He waved his hand at the book. Ella looked back at the book, then walked over to Norn, whose face dropped as he read. Ella took the book back.
Oh, shoot, I didn't even see it that time. I'm staring at the word.
Ella took the book back and read, "It's all true if you do not prepare yourselves. Now you stand no chance against the dead things tied to me. There are 4, and they are sealed to me by the runes around mine. The hold of this book is marked. It is a measure that Frelick thought would keep this out of enemy hands."
There's no why.
"There is no why? There is only do." "Well, that would work," Tresca commented. "How do you fight one Ashblatt keeper?" Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, guys. "How do you fight one Ashblatt slave keeper?" Ella asked the book. "How do you fight 4? The boy's hands emphasized the problem. "An Ashblatt is a thing of folklore. No one has ever seen one. What are tied to me are my sisters in death. 4 sisters were the first veil experiments. 2 twins. Their minds were ripped from their bodies. He was trying to use a rune to switch bodies, but instead he was able to remove them and bind them to my rune. The special properties are entirely illusory, but the things that feel real can do real damage. I can tell you when you are close to the location of their afterlife." Ella looked back up to the group. "Why should we trust it?" the boy said with his hands. Tresca responded with her hands. "Perhaps we shouldn't." As if sensing their trepidation, the book wrote, I want to help you. Please don't die like everyone else who has touched this book. After Ella read that aloud, Norin asked for the book. Reaching into his coat, he pulled out some crafter's glass and swallowed it whole. After some time funneling the metal runes, handed it back to her. It's heme iron, and it's occupied, but I can't touch it while the 4 girls are weeping so loudly, he finished. You're telling me...
That's the book.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're telling me, Ella read aloud. Can we help silence their weeping? Toldari asked. When you get close to one, you must talk to her and get her to tell you where her body is. And then reunite them. But beware, if you are caught in their wailing and join in, then you know you will not return. Treska a hand was asking for the book. Allow me to hold it. If these young ladies want someone to help them, it should be me. Ella handed her the book. Treska opened it and began walking towards the exit. Show me when we're close, and I will speak with our dearly departed friends. Through the cafeteria and the kitchen, 2 of them scream endlessly at each other about how they got each other into this mess they're in. Treska read its words aloud. Maybe they simply need a mediator, Ella hoped aloud. Change that to 2. Space. And then get rid of aloud. I think that maybe magic is the only solution, Toldari said. You mean bury the book under a ton of rocks? Norin asked, hoping for an easy solution. They walked into the kitchen. The book indeed betrayed them. Treska was attacked by 4 ghastly spirits. They all froze the instant they touched her. She dropped the book. We probably shouldn't listen to that anymore. A smoke exploded out of a nearby oven. Toldari was standing in front of it. Norin grabbed his bloody body and disappeared. The rest of them dropped to the floor unconscious. Okay. So I really do enjoy everything that you conceptualized in this chapter. But can we fix the story inside a story, please?
Blade. Blade. It happened again with another word.
Book.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad, and I'm sure we can fix...
Old as shit. Sorry.
Oh. Pop my neck.
Pop your neck.
Okay. So, Mordonis the Blacksmith. This is a bunch of words you just typed out really fastly, and no punctuation.
Not fast, but a long time ago. I think. The story's here.
Oh, it's your turn to read now because my eyes hurt. Read it and fix it. What are you doing?
I'm just fixing this thing that was up there.
So, read it. So we can fix it. Hooded.
I'm realizing something up here. Give me a sec.
Oh. I'm going to continue to shape my palm tree. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. And there's silence here.
I don't know.
If you read it, I can help you fix it. Because one thing we have learned is that reading while we're fixing is kind of hard. So read the words exactly how they are on the page.
I really don't.
I guess this podcast is just me then, guys. Sorry.
I am ashamed. I don't know. It's the story.
Yeah, okay.
I just need to change the word blade from repeating itself.
Is that all you have to do? I don't think that's all you have to do. Personally, in my opinion.
What do you want to tell me then?
Well, you need to read it to me so I can remember where they're at.
But I am ashamed.
You are ashamed? You should be ashamed.
I'm ashamed of most of my writing.
For not wanting to read it. Mordanus was a blacksmith a long time ago. He loved to craft weapons, and one day he crafted a sword that could kill a god. Like, literally, this is just one big, long, run-on sentence. And you need to fix that horribleness that is that run-on sentence. I wish you would tell me what you were doing.
I wish I had better skills.
Well, you can't get better skills if you just ignore the things that you mistaked on. The best way to improve yourself is to fix your mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
No, I'm getting rid of this blade thing. That's what I'm doing.
you're getting rid of the blade thing.
Yes.
But then there's no talking happening. I think it's kind of a cute story. He wants to build a sword. His brother destroys it. He's like, fine, I'll make it better, you butthead. And then makes a better sword and splits open reality.
Uh-huh.
And
welcome in some sort of
Ashblatt.
mortal creature into their land.
And then, fully dives into the definition of insanity.
It's an ancient lore. It's not like...
No. What's the definition of insanity?
I'm pretty sure that the DSM-5 has a perfectly good definition of insanity.
Doing
but
this...
That is not that.
Okay. Come on. You knew what I was getting to, so just...
Yeah, but I don't know what insanity... Insanity is like when things don't appear the same as they do to everybody else.
Okay, fine. Mordanus was a blacksmith a long time ago. He loved to craft weapons, and one day he crafted a sword that could kill a god. When Castron saw him, he condemned it to be destroyed.
Okay, you say it needs punctuation, clearly. But my mouse isn't working. Help me find those spots.
Comma. Period.
What?
Oh, my Lanta. No, you didn't put a period
I thought
there.
that was a period. I'm sorry. They're really close to each other.
He crafted a sword that could kill a god. Oh, booger butts. Castron saw him and condemned it to be destroyed. Or don't. That's cool.
When Castron saw it, he condemned it to be destroyed.
When Castron saw him, he condemned it to be destroyed. Thank you. Mordanus was too proud of his work.
My mind is not working.
Was proud of his work, though, saying, I will craft it finer then. For 2,000 years he hammered at the blade. As he did, his sweat dripped into the sword. The sweat of a god was powerful. Oh, was a powerful thing. Apparently, when you forge with it, it forges the metal into a fine enough blade to slice into another world. When he forged it, when he finished it. Because he's forging and forging and forging. He opened the door to the infernal race known as the Ashblatt. Period. Their skin of steel made them impervious to all the weapons the ancient nation had to defend themselves. Castron screamed at his brother. What have you done? You have brought all the evil into our world with that blade.
Blad.
Oh. Quotes. He shouted for the cursed blade to be destroyed. Mordanis was sure that his hard work could fix this. He forged it again. He forged it again. His blood coming out of his hands as he worked. And as you know, if you forge with the blood of the gods, you must be obtaining a new power. This sentence is funky, and it has to be here. So what are you trying to say here?
It's pretty straightforward.
You can keep the obtaining a new power. I mean, what power is it getting? And as you know, if you forge with the blood of the gods, unlocking... What do you want?
I'm trying to think. I'm not very good at this right now.
What does forging with the blood of the gods do?
More power.
Okay, what does this power do?
It cuts into mortal flesh.
They couldn't cut... That's the thing that kicks me in the teeth here. Is that, like, they couldn't cut into mortal flesh before?
Yes. They're gods. They can't interact with the mortal world. The fact that you're stumbling over this for some reason is very funny to me. And I'm trying not to be very mean about it.
You're a butthole.
It's fantasy. It's lore from a fantasy world. You see. Like ancient history in a fantasy world.
And as you know, if you forge with the blood of the gods... shoot, what would you say? I had it and then I lost it because you kept talking. The powers of things only get stronger.
What if I did this?
What if you did this? For the first time... Oh, yeah. Just get rid of that line. Just get rid of it. Yeah. Dude. That's the answer right there. Booyah. As he worked. For the first time, the gods made a weapon that could cut mortal flesh. The skin of their foes peeled easily at this. But the fine blade brought into our world something... Okay. But the fine blade brought into our world something that could cut mortal flesh. You already said it cut mortal flesh. Why do you have to say it again?
Because when man saw that, he copied it, slicing into the side of his own brother.
Okay, but real quick.
Can I delete that sentence?
Not the full sentence.
I'm on a deleting spree.
I
think if I don't know what to do, it means, especially in this chapter, delete.
Okay, hold on. For the first time, the gods made a weapon that could cut mortal flesh. Is fine.
Is it really?
Yes. Whatever. The skin of their foes peeled easily at this. But
the fine blade brought into our world something that could cut mortal flesh.
When man saw that... No, not capital W. Oh, you didn't... Okay. Okay, put but. Okay, no, not... Hooded! Serious moment. Uncapitalize when. Put a comma after but.
Okay.
I don't know how the boy was so enthralled by this story. It was written by an idiot. When this man saw this... It likes to copy. Capitalize. He copied it, slicing into the side of his... They copied, or he copied. Because then you said their own brother. Slicing aside. They copied it, slicing it into the side of their own brother. It is said that Mordanus is still forging, hoping that it can fix the problem. And Castron stands at the gate to the Ashblatt home, keeping them at bay. That's much better.
Good.
Mordanus is insane. He's continually do the same thing over and over again. And expecting a different result.
That's practice.
No.
You're talking about practice. Where you play the same song over and over, hoping you get better. It doesn't make any sense. It's not insanity, it's practice.
It was a joke of a comment.
Yeah, that is not very well defined. I don't know.
What else did we need to fix?
If only I were a funny person.
Yeah, you're not funny.
Never really tried to be.
Okay. So that story's a lot better. There's a lot less we have to deal with there. The next thing we have to fix is wit.
I don't think you can fix my wit.
Is what?
Oh. Where is that?
No, what do we fix next?
I don't know.
What part
Seems
of
like
this
nothing
chapter?
needs to be fixed. It's perfect. Sorry. There was a repeating word somewhere else.
Book.
Books and blades.
Yeah, books and blades. But the pen is mightier than the sword.
But the spell is mightier than the sword. The mind is mighty. Might is mightier than the sword. The sword seems pretty useless.
Not to Mordanus.
Not to a soldier. In the medieval times with their swords attacking and stuff. Anyway.
Anyway. It's really hard to fix book in this. Because it's like... anyone else who has touched this book, that's fine.
No, actually, the book can disappear. In that case.
Okay. As a sensing the trepidation the book wrote, you could just say... The words appeared on the page. I want to help you. Please, don't die like everyone else who has touched this. After Ella read that aloud, Norn asked for the book. Reaching into his coat, he pulled out some crafter's glass and swallowed it whole. Runes, Hema iron.
The whole thing is solved by Rokai.
This whole thing is solved by Rokai.
Did you get that right?
Mm-hmm.
Can't do anything to her.
Alright, hold on a second. He opened the book. Blank pages filled the book. Not a single word to be seen. Just change this to filled with blank pages. He opened the book.
Or
filled with blank pages.
Or blank pages filled the book. Not a single word was to be seen.
He opened it.
He doesn't need to open it. If you can tell the pages are blank, that's kind of saying the book is open. I'm saying just remove he opened the book, because blank pages kind of tells you that the book is open.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, it seems like just puts their all back.
What is this? She asked, taking it and opening it. The words, "How can I help you?" appeared on the page. Did you write this? Did you write this? It doesn't even look like your handwriting. How does she know? Has you written stuff before? His confused look told her he didn't write it. Has he ever written anything for anybody? I've not seen him write at all.
He hasn't really had to. He uses the hand language.
He uses his hand language.
But, yeah, he knows how to write.
I didn't ask, does he know how to write? I asked,
No, he doesn't really
how does
know.
she know it doesn't look like his handwriting? Huh?
Because it looked good. Because it wasn't clearly written by a teenager.
You can fix it by saying, I don't know.
I guess, my mouse is having problems.
Your mouse is...
Didn't know where to target.
Yeah. Considering that her keyboard is a problem. What'd you get? No, that's much better. Did you write this? It looks so neat. His confused look told her he didn't write it. Well, then who wrote it? Lacastrain.
Castrations.
Appeared across the page. Her mouth formed the name. Told Ari, who was laying on a bunk scraping his name into the frame above him. Into the frame above him. Followed by the words "was here," like the child he seems to be. Shot up, hitting his head on the bunk, saying, "I was hoping to go my whole life without ever having to even hear that name. And here you say it, because why?" Ella looked up from the book. It's apparently another one of Freilic's torture victims. Words appeared on the page in front of her, and she read, "Torture victim, yes, but I was not Freilic's prize. Many awful people ruled the school. None so cruel as a man called Darkrai the Morbid. He had me on a strict regimen, pills, la-di-da-di-da, sad, 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 want, want, want." Ask it why the legend is that anyone who touches the book ends up being tortured to insanity by 4 Ashblatt slave keepers.
Campfire stories told to scare children.
They say the way the book drives you mad is to carefully...
Comma after carefully.
And in a way...
And in a way to keep your attention.
And in a way, keep your attention. Get rid of the 2. Yeah. Yeah.
In a way that keeps your attention.
That keeps your attention. Describe to you every possible... Yeah, so that. Put that there. That was better. That.
I can't. That.
Okay, hold on. I found another book. Ella looked back at the book, then walked over to Norrin, whose face dropped as he read. Ella took the book back and read.
Took back the book?
Yeah.
Took the book back? Book.
She didn't.
Book.
Then walked over to Norrin.
Mm-hmm.
Whose face dropped as he read. Ella read it aloud instead of took the book back. Because she never really gave it to him. She just showed it to him.
That's the idea.
Okay, so Ella read it out loud.
All right.
I think that fixed a lot of the books.
I think we're done.
Recap time?
This is going to take a year to recap. So video's already almost an hour. This is an old, long one today. Let's get it over.
You did write an obscenely long chapter. I swear Huda does this so that way he can hear me read.
I want to hear you say everything.
Alright, so they go on a trip to the other side of the school. I don't know if I quite like how I'm doing these leaves. I might have to look at a better reference for them.
Wouldn't it be helpful if people could see the leaves? That'd be kind of cool. They could like notice all your hard work you're doing in the moment. Well, I'm sure they would love to. But that's it. Bye.
Have a good day.
Thanks for listening. We love you.
This was a long chapter, so.
We care about you.
Bye.